to Be So Light. So I'm coming on here really quick to give you guys a message. And this is a message that I thought was really interesting in how it's really going to be playing out for the rest of this year. Okay, going forward. So, welcome to Be So Light. My name is Felicia, as well as your galactic spiral light priestess, Makala. I'm sweating because I'm charged up. I have been in the sun. Real angels don't get no sleep. That's right. Well, anyway, here we go. So, let's take a look at today. When you add up the numbers of today, it comes out to 13. So, hello, divine women. Let's step into our divineness. That's sacred number 13. Even though it's a 4-8 number, so we got those 4, 4, 4. Bitch, where my money? 444. Where my money? Got to put that out there. You know, it's kind of interesting how, I don't know, doing the tax thing, everything doesn't make any sense. But when I walked outside today, OMG, talking about, I looked up at the sky and I just felt this whole energy of the sky doesn't feel right. It feels like it's pressurized. It feels like it's closer. It feels like it's amplified so much. And I'm just standing there looking at it and I'm like, wow. So I have a message about this kin today. And of course, today is the yellow electric sun. I'm loving it. All right, so here. Oh, and you know what, everyone? I have to apologize for my energy of my warriorship came up. You know, I try to keep that under wraps every now and then. I try not to want to do battle right in front of everybody, try not to do that. But some beings were getting all up in here, getting kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puff without a bowl and a spoon and no milk. And I'm just like, I don't think so. So yeah, I kind of, you know, I did a little bit of a threat, like saying, I'm like, you see, God, you know, my apologies, you know. I don't have to touch you to do, do what I do, dragons will take care of it, those kind of things I say. Anyway, so let me tell you what today's kin is. So let's get back to us. So just know, if you come on here and you're not a part of the original tribe here, of the Be So Light tribe, we are people here in this tribe. No, we're awakened beings. We're sovereign. We don't take kindly to any of your, negative attachments, your archons, all that stuff. We don't play with that here. Okay? So run along. We don't consent to you. There. So today's kin, yellow electric sun, it says, I activate in order to enlighten, bonding life. I seal the matrix of the universal fire. Fire with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of flowering. I am a polar kin. I established the yellow galactic spectrum. And underneath it, it says, this begins a 65-day sun season of enlightenment, yellow galactic spectrum. 65 days. So 2 months, 5 days of high energy coming in with this kin activating it. So the color today is yellow. The planet is Pluto. The crown is the chakra. Earth family is polar. We have a rune, and it is the R. I like to call it the R. Okay. There it is, the R. And here it says the universal time space is constructed through your mind. Universal time space is constructed through your mind. So you want to know what it looks like today. It's this thing right here. And this is why I always tell people, Find out what your galactic signature is so that you know when these signatures come up, you know when they're being activated. So you know when you're in synchronicity. There was so much synchronicity for me today that was unreal. And it's not my kin. That's the interesting thing about it. It's not my kin. But yet and still, there was a lot of synchronicity going on today. So with that being said, let's dive into what the R is. And I'm going to also pull it up through my mind. And I was out. Let me tell you. Now, remember, I did that video on the Lemurian Blue Spear. So I just went out because it kept pulling on me. And I found my friend's birthday gift. So you got a birthday gift coming. Because the one I was going to send, I was like, kind of him-hawing around. And then I saw this one, and I said, oh, I'm going to send this instead. This will be perfect. So I'm sending her birthday gift. She probably thinks I forgot all about her. I haven't forgotten about you, Tare. That will never happen. Okay, so we got 3 tones. We got, I want to show you what this one looks like. Because I love these cards. I love the artwork on these cards. They're so pretty. Yellow, that's Yellow Warrior. I mean, Yellow Electric. Sun, yellow. Maybe this. Here it is. Okay. So, something interesting this morning when I was getting myself ready, I noticed my eyes, especially last night, they were really sensitive last night. It's like, what is going on with my eyes? They're acting kind of weird. Okay, so here is the tone. We have the 3 tones, which makes it electric. Yeah, I feel very charged up today. And then this is our symbol. If you look at the bottom, it's right there. But look how the triangles are here. Loving it. I just love these cards. They're so pretty and they're very activating. So just take a look at that. Breathe that in. Okay, so those are our symbols for today. So something else I wanted to share with all of you really quick. Let me grab my notebook. So, and I just got in from running around. So, the other night, I got to put a date on this when I wrote this out. This was on... Yeah. Okay. So about... It was the 6th. It was a couple of days ago. On the 6th. Okay, so on the 6th, I was having a lot of, how do I put it? The last time I was on, so it was Monday. So from that point, I kept having all these flashes of the oceans, of these orbs coming out of the ocean. And I was like, what am I seeing? So I had to draw it down, and I said, they will come from the waters like before. And I had to write the words. And this is what it's going to look like. Four of these big orbs are going to come out of the water. I keep feeling like it's going to be Pacific, and I keep feeling like it's going to be East Coast. I feel like it's going to happen at the same time. Like there's a signal that's going to go out. There's something that they're waiting for when these Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff people do what they do. That's going to come out, and it's going to initiate a signal that will bring forth them coming out, because everything is being expanded. So I saw these orbs come out of the water. It was like I was standing on the shores, and I could see these 4 big orbs come out of the water, and they just hovered right above the water. And there was this energetic light that went between all 4 of them, creating like this diamond shape thing. And I was like, oh, we're gonna get a spanking now. They have rise from the waters. So when I kept seeing the vision of it. I was drawing it out, and I was like, but I see myself standing on standing on the shores, witnessing this, seeing this happening. And then I threw my arms up, and I just remember having my arms up, and I started speaking in my light language tone that is corded with the waters and the activation of what is going to be happening with this. So I don't know if this is on a spiritual plane that is taking place on. I don't know, but I just know for those 2 days, give or take, that this energy kept coming up, and I kept seeing flashes of these things coming out of the water. But it was 4 of them. So it's going to be 4 on this side and then 4 on the East Coast. But it was almost like Mother Earth just says, you know what, I'm done. So now we're going to put the lies to rest. We're done with the lie. No more lying. No more faking it. No more falseness. No more fakeness. No more faking it. No more falseness. And just boom. It was like, psh. And that's how everything shifted, where we went forward, and there was no more of this deceiving, because there was something that just lifted up this blanket. And when it happened, it was like time paused. Everything paused. When this took place, it just paused. Everything just stopped. So I just made note of it when I got the energy of it. And I just wanted to share that here and let you guys know what that is. So now I'm going to talk about something really interesting. And like I said, I'm not going to be on here for a super long time because I want you to kind of figure this out. So yesterday, I just kind of rested. I was just working with my nervous system, working with my body, just doing what I was told to do. So I'm kicking it, and I'm just laying in bed, and I'm just doing my thing. And I said, well, I'll watch a movie. So one of the movies that came up was Bones and All. And I saw this a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, that's such a disgusting movie. It's gross. It's like, oh my God, that's disgusting. I couldn't even really watch the whole thing because it was so disgusting. But then Spirit said, watch this movie and listen to the dialogue, not what they're doing. Listen to the dialogue. I'm like, okay. So I went in, not consenting to the energy of it, and went in, and I watched it. Guys. So what I'm going to share with you, this is going to put some things in perspective for you about that. Oh, hold on a second. I didn't read what the R was. R is about the journey. Hold on a second. I skipped right ahead. See, 131, the journey. So I'm going to just give you quickly what the journey is. Journey, communication, union, and reunion is what this is. Okay. So this is about communication with the attunement of something that has 2 sides, 2 elements, and with an ultimate union that comes at the end of a journey. Ooh. When what is above and what is below are united and of one mind. Oh, and we have how many days? 65 days. So this is starting this. Oh, this is crazy. Once you are clear, you can neutralize your refusal to let right actions flow through you. Not intention on movement, be content to wait. While you wait, keep on removing resistance. As the obstruction gives way, all remorse rising from trying to make things happen disappear. The journey is towards self-healing, self-change, and union. You are concerned here with nothing less than unobstructed, perfect union. But the union of the heaven and the earth cannot be forced. Regulate any excess in your life. Material advantages must not weigh heavily on this journey of the self towards the self. Stand apart even from like-minded others. The notion of strength in numbers does not apply at such time, for this is a part of the journey of the soul journey that cannot be shared. So this room, that our room, is all about that journey. What is the journey that we're taking? So anyway, let me get back to this really quick. So I watched the movie and I'm laying there and I'm watching and I'm listening to the dialogue. Okay, this young girl is trying to locate her mother because her father sent her away because she bit somebody's finger. So now she's sent away. She's on this journey. She doesn't know why she does what she does when she gets hungry. So then she runs into this old man. This old man sees her standing at a bus stop late at night. Okay, it's like maybe midnight or something, late at night. And he's out there and he's looking at her. He starts talking to her. He goes, I smelled you. I can smell another eater. And she goes, is that what they call it? She's trying to figure herself out why she does what she does. So I'm watching this and they really, you have to pay attention to it because it's very subtle. If you watch this movie, get past the goriness, but the dialogue is the key because it's actually going to tell you a lot about what's happening to people when they go missing, how it's done like this. And it's a different spin on it besides the hills have eyes, besides wrong turn. You already know these are some jacked up people that are going to be doing crazy stuff, okay? You already know they cuckoo for cocos. So, but this is the unseen ones that can walk past you, that's in your facilities, in your restaurants, in any place where you are, and they're watching and looking for the ones that they want to target to eat. And then sometimes what happens, they're looking at certain ones that they don't like. If they're being mean to a kid or something, they'll put their tracers out on that one person and do what they need to do to bring them in, to lure them in, to take them out so that they can feast on them. Okay. So this movie has so much coded information in it. It was crazy because it was all about, I can smell you. I know what you smell like. I know they can smell when there's one of their own around and they have a code where they're not supposed to go after each other and do anything. That's a code. Not supposed to partake of another eater. And I'm like, whoa, I'm just like, this is sick crazy, sick crazy. So I'm just like, and then all of a sudden Spirit starts telling me, why do you think they are always putting emphasis on different things of smell, like colognes and stuff? Like the other day when I was in the store getting some food, this guy had this godforsaken cologne on. I mean, he must have jumped in the bottle, bathed himself in the bottle, and then came out of it because he was reeking with this cologne on. And I've smelt this on other men also, this particular one, but on him, it was like almost like trying to cover up a scent that he had. And then trying to use what he put on himself as a luring type of thing. Like, who can he match this scent up with? And I was like, oh my God. So Spirit says, I want you to think about it. How many times have you smelt something on someone and you really like the smell of that scent on the opposite person? And I was like, oh, I love certain things. I said, but look at the frequency of it. How was it seductive? How was it alluring? Because why would they mask themselves so heavy in it if they didn't have something dark to hide? And I was like, oh. So beware of people that you might be around that do a lot of this. Especially if you just met them and they just got in your space and they're Always doing that. If they don't have a cocaine habit or something like that, and they're snorting stuff up that nose, causing that all that sniffling stuff or allergies or whatever, okay. But if it's just like they look like they're different and they're just like constantly doing that, and like, I can smell you. That kind of crap, yeah, that's a lot of 411. You might want to go quickly and say, I think I saw some carrots over here. Let me go get some carrots and take your ass out of there, because there is something with that they can smell. They're smelling. And it kind of puts it on the same concept like Jeepers Creepers. Because Jeepers Creepers, he's full on reptilian. He can also pass for the Mothman, the history of the Mothman. But he's full on that reptilian being that does this smell. He's smelling the fear. He's Archon, he's reptilian, he's got that fear sense, and he's smelling with that. And he's looking for the one that has the most fear, because he knows if he targets that person is going to be the feast of the lifetime that he's looking for. So he's looking for the most fearful one. So I really, when I was watching that, I was like, and then towards the end, not all the way towards the end, but towards the middle, these two men, they were out in the park, okay, out in a park area in the trees and wilderness like, and this car pulls up on them, and they're like, how the hell somebody know we're back here? And the guy gets out and says, see, I told you I can smell them. I told you they were back here. I'm like, shit. So a lot of times if you're out camping and something and you're minding your own business and all of a sudden a car just rolls up on you, what were they smelling? They weren't smelling your barbecue. So here they come, and then he says to the girl, he said, oh, you must be young in it. And there was this guy sitting next to him who wasn't like this eater guy, but he was a cop. And he was just like, he just likes to partake in it. He's not a traditional one. And the guy was like, yeah, you're a young one. He's talking to the girl. He says, well, have you done it all yet? Have you devoured it all? Bones and all. That's when you're really connected. And she goes, that's impossible. How can anybody do that? He goes, oh no, it can be done. And I'm like, is he hunting? I think he's hunting. And so they ended up waiting till they fell asleep, and they got in the truck and they backed out, and then finally was leaving. And then the guy was like, oh, they're getting away, was trying to chase after them, but they got themselves out of there. But towards the very end, that old guy was still hunting the girl. Okay, she finally tracks down the mother, finds her mother in an asylum place, sanitarium place, and her mother wrote a letter like 15 years ago that she wanted to give to her, telling her why she had to leave and what she was, and she didn't want this to be a burden for her growing up. And she didn't know how to tell her what she was. So I'm looking at this and I said, wow. So is this a skinwalker? Can we say this is a skinwalker? Or is this something that just has this genetics of doing that? So now I'm going down the rabbit hole, and I'm going back all the way back to the first time when there was this start of it. And I'm not talking about like certain tribes that would do things like that. They would just go into that part of space eating or whatever, feasting on each other. I'm talking about the times where there was things where people got trapped in mines and stuff, and then they feasted on somebody. Is that the time when this energy came in and imprinted on the genetics? And then it just kept carrying on? Because you got to think about it. We're cells, and if you're going in doing that, you're putting that signature into the cells. So which goes just all the way down a whole nother rabbit toll of everything else that's going on. So I just was like complex when I really listened to the dialogue of what was being said in that movie about the smelling. And then they can smell people, smell your essence, smell your everything in there. And I was like, holy shit. This movie was one of those movies that make you sit back and kind of, you got to get past the ickiness. Okay, that's the main thing, get past that. But it was just listening to the dialogue and then watching the trickery that they do and then how they take and move cars. So it just really, this is a very complex world we live in, and it's got so many hidden doors of stuff of how things happen. We sit back and think, okay, this person is missing, this person here is missing, but we're not really looking at why is it we'll find things the way they were, or how the body was discovered, or just craziness. So it kind of makes, when you think about like Hannibal Lecter, when the movies Hannibal came out, and it was just as, this movie kind of gives you a little bit of that drop in on how they function and what it is. And you can't really put it into like a vampire thing, because it's not just they're going after, like in movies and the vampires, they go after the blood. This is they're going after the whole body. And it's like, wow. So I'm sharing that with you because it's to kind of have your heads and your wits about you when you start smelling something that's really putrid, like a person that passed by you and they smell really weird, like they smell like death. Okay, a lot of times they are not probably ill, they just, what do they dive into? Hold on a second. Up to the moon LLC. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I just wanted to share that as a way to be aware of when you are going out and doing things, and also to bring to your awareness that today is marking the 65 days of enlightenment energy. And when you're in that sun and you're getting your codes, and how you really step into the energy of activating yourself and demanding your code of light of energy to really be activated. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and dive into this. I'm going to go ahead and have this. But yeah, I had to share that. I'm going to show that one because that one just popped straight up in my face. Okay. So I hope everyone is doing fine. I thought it was really interesting, just kind of, like I said, watching that movie, and I was just like, wow, this is really deep. It puts a different energy line on, hold on a second. Some kind of craziness going on in the parking lot. Okay. All right, lovelies. Let's look at our read for today. I went out, and I will probably be diving into this. I got to take a look at it. I had such a wonderful day today. New set of cards called Weeds and Witches. I said, wow, 50 cards in a guidebook. And it's by one of the people I collect cards with. And I said, oh, I can't wait to take a look at that. And then I had such money saved up on a discount. I was able to get what I wanted and had a nice discount because I have so many points stacked up. She goes, you want to use your points today? I said, hell yeah. So I ended up with a piece of ocean jasper, and I got an ocean jasper heart because I'm into, for whatever reason, I'm being really pulled into working with a lot of waters. Now, last night in Dream World, there were some stupid dream things going on, and I woke up and I said, I am not doing this stupid dream. This dream has no potentials of anything, and I'm not doing it. Came out of it, and then I ended up doing something with water. So this morning it was a really strong pull for ocean jasper and to get that. So I wanted to go ahead and step into that. Okay. So I'm looking at the codes of the day. Oops. Okay. All right, lovelies. Let's step into our coded medicine of the day. And let's take a look at the messages. So from the Queen of the Sun, we have insight. And that's a number 26. I like this. This is pretty. Insight, number 26. It breaks down to Apollo. Insight. Look at the rational truth of a situation. Seek the facts. Know thyself. Pay attention to your health. Ask questions. Do not guess. Inquire. You may get what you are looking for. Use divination more regularly. I heal and can heal. I seek the truth. Love this. I heal and can seek the truth. Okay, our next card is number 37. It's a star, which is grace. And with this one, it's that spring energy. And it says, lighten up, see the positive of what is ahead of you. Set new intentions, start afresh. You are headed into a period of growth. Stop reminiscing on mistakes or things that haven't gone well in the past. Look forward and make your new plans. I'm excited about my future. Now, I like this one because I had to talk to a friend of mine, and I know some people are experiencing this with their bank accounts and weird stuff going on. And, you're trying to stay on top of everything and weird stuff is happening. So she had told me, yeah, they closed my account, and I was like, oh, well, that's good. Now you get to get rid of that energy, and now you get to start anew. And she's like, okay, let's start anew. So hold on one second, you guys. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I had to go take care of the young one, make sure everything was done because I'm not doing any cooking today. So I just needed to take a break from prepping food and all that stuff. So grace and insight. Now for Dream World tonight, we have Dream Thief. There's a reason why I woke up in the middle of my dream world. Okay, Dream Thief. So Dream Thief. And it says refusal of the call. Refusal of the call. So what call are we refusing? Refusal of the call is the number 13. So today's numbers, like I said, adds up to a 13. So let's see. I think this is kind of ironic that this fell into place. Rejection of the path of fulfillment, refusal of the call. So where are you refusing? Where are you blocking? I shouldn't say blocking. Where are you saying, not ready yet? Where are you waiting to see what the real alignment is? What are you looking for? Dream Thief, refusal of the call. When you keep refusing something. Believe it or not, I was told that one time because I was in the heart of my nursing. And I just remember my elder at that time, she says, you need to start doing your work. And I said, yeah, what does that look like? What does my work look like? And this is before I got this huge download and spiral light came through and then everything. I said, I'm already studying massage. I'm already doing that. Then she goes, no, you got other work you're going to be doing because you are that healer. You have that work. And it's not so much being a vessel for what comes through you to help others. So I remember I just kept saying, no, I'm not going to do it. I like my money too much. I like having nice things. I don't like to worry about blah, 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 blah. How am I going to make a living doing what I'm doing? Blah, blah, blah. But now the time is flipping. It's flipping now. Those of us back in the day, we would always say that. But now it's flipping. So now it's going to be the other way around, where you're doing your work and you get paid for your services. People are seeking you out because they are needing help. They are needing assistance because they're going through something and the doctors don't know what to say. The doctors have already worked with them and gave them, but there's always this last piece of the puzzle that puts everything together that someone can help you with. And that's where all of us fit in with our gifts to help somebody, to help communicate where the communication doesn't connect well through other people, but it does through a healer that can see where the gap is and can bridge it so that that person can have that healing. So in our collective celestial energy, we have receptivity, which is number 44, angelic diamond light. I like this one. Not to be decisiveness is solar, Cyrus solar empowerment. This is powerful. This is some pretty light language on this one. And this is by Light Star, her cards. And then we step into Love Pleiades Star Angel. Okay, and our final card that closes out today is our card of gracious receptivity. Being receptive, receiving. Beyond Lemurian. Okay. All right, lovelies. I just wanted to come on here and give you that information about the yellow electric sun and talk about that movie, what the hidden message was in that. Paying attention to smells, okay, odors is going to tell you. And you know what I was also seeing? I was seeing vulture energy with these people, because the old guy literally waited until the woman, I think it was his wife, until she passed away to go and do what he wanted to do, feast upon. It is kind of almost like a vulture energy. It has that vulture stuff. So like the eating of the dead. But it was like really intense watching that movie. But watching it from a point of view of what is the dialogue? What is she doing? What is she looking for the mother for? And why did the mother go lock herself away in um, a sanitarium? Put herself there, and just it's crazy. But anyway, lovelies, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my day. I really wanted to put this here, and I know we're all waiting for some kind of signal to take place with the crazy bug IT that's supposedly saying. I noticed something last night when there was a speech or something. I think it was probably recorded beforehand. I'm not sure. His tie that he was wearing was kind of like a silvery, grayish color tie. It wasn't blue, wasn't white, wasn't had like an off color to it. And I was like, what the hell is that? So I thought it was kind of interesting what I was seeing with that. I was like, huh. But he's not the real one anyway. So it's just kind of interesting watching how this energy is playing out. I love this. Look at this. One of those times where you get a glass bead and I didn't know what to do with it. And then I look at it and I said, wait a minute. That's silver. And it is. Silver in that. So when somebody made this, they actually put those silver flakes and melted it in there. I was like, anyway. All right, lovelies. I just wanted to share this. Oh, also, I went out to the health food store today. They were having all kind of amazing sales. I had to get this. Frankincense and myrrh laundry detergent. I said, let me try that. I want to try that. I just never, This is like for washing towels and sheets, and it smells so good. Then I came across something from the past. I met this man. I met a lot of his written work, I should say, Christopher. I didn't meet him in person. But I just remember he has what they call super garlic immune formula. And I'm like, super garlic. I was like, oh, it has a lot of good stuff in it. Should do some research on it. Super garlic. Yeah. So I had to get that. Then I got my ointment stuff because I just ran out last night and was able to get some ointment, CBD balm, extra strength for when you have that soreness. And something else I found out, people have been complaining about sore joints, stiffness, like they can't walk. That's that crystalline, and it's hitting the fascia. Okay, you gotta work on the fascia. You really do. And I got this thing called Rose Water Mask. 1,000 roses. I have no idea what that means. But I got it for free. So I said, well, if I got it for free. Oh, that's different. Kind of like a little bit of pinkness in there. Probably can't really see it. Okay. All right. So I got that. Got my favorite magnesium. Gotta have that magnesium. I love these. These are chews. These are chews. Do 1 or 2 of these. I like this. So good for the body. Right now, more than ever, you gotta be taking care of that nervous system. Okay? Gotta take care of that nervous system. More than ever. Okay? That's the key to the game, because as we keep getting loaded up with codes, you gotta take care of it. All right, lovelies, that's my message of the day, and I wish all of you a wonderful day. Thanks for watching the video. Give it likes and some thumbs up, subscribe, and do that thing. Everybody's saying it. Leave a comment down below how you feel. Yeah. If you leave a comment, be nice. If you leave a bad comment, okay, leave a nice one. This is not the time to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because that stuff is going to come and circle right back to you. We're in the manifestational month right now. Okay, so it's all about taking care of that nervous system. I cannot stress that enough. Take care of the nervous system. Um, so far, the stones I've really been working with, that Lemurian blue calcite, and then the ocean jasper is another one that I'm tuning into. I'll do a separate thing on that ocean jasper. I'll probably do a short on it, just so you guys can take a look at it, because it's really pretty. And it's funny, I saw it and I was like, I kept saying, I don't want it in a spirit. I would like it maybe in a heart or something like that. Boom, there it was. All right. All right, lovelies, be good to yourself. Be in that love energy of the self and be your light. Stay in your light. Remember who you are. Bye.